What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Alright, so I'm thinking about the terms no justice, no peace. Alright? And I think about how this is 2020, and for the last 5, 6 months, maybe I say maybe 4 or 5 months, there have been a lot of protests going on with this issue that we have with the police killing people of my color. I, there's a young lady that was shot in her house, two women that was shot in their house. There was chokings. There was some other involved shootings. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, man, for as long as I can remember, there's been violence. And when I say for as long as I remember, there's been violence. I'm 45. So let's say 44, 43 years, I've been knowing about violence. As far as really paying attention to it, being aware that that's what violence is. Alright, so just think that mankind has been on this earth and doing things for a long, 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 long time. It's part of our code or our encoding. And part of our encoding has this thing to where we have to put some type of title on this thing that we got in our blood, in our genes. We have to put some type of reasoning. We got to make sense of it in some kind of way. Mankind has used religion, has used music, has used poetry, has used simple dialogue, mathematics. I've used all these things to put some meaning on this thing that we got in our genes, to where we have to go out and kill somebody. We gotta bring harm to something, somebody, or to somebody. We all have it, and a lot of us resist it. In a song, dude say, "I'm not a killer, but don't push me." No, 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 no. In a song, dude says, "Don't push me, 'cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. A hardy, ha, ha, ha." And then, throughout all this time, about the only answer to this thing that we do is just resisting our own nature. It's like we know we about to do it, and we make the choice not to. Now, on these years that I've been on Earth, let me put it like this. When I start hearing about murderers and the ones who can't explain why they do it or why they continue to do it. There's murderers who don't justify it at all. They be like, I did it. I'll do it again. But the ones that are like, they say clinically and capable of knowing what they're doing, you know, it's like, okay, so what do? You walk down the street, you black out, next thing you know, you done killed somebody, come to your senses, and you either, you know, face the consequences, or you got away with it for that moment, and then you end up doing it again. But for whatever reason, it's something that's embedded into our genes, into our encoding. And so I think about how people try to throw the differences of color into the equation, and how we think about slavery, and how we think about the lynching. And in today's time, we deal with these issues. And I sit here and I wonder, will it ever end? I have to ask that with a bunch of question marks at the end, because it's just one of those things where I can't say it's crazy. It's too natural to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's hereditary. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of these things where I think about, somebody had to think of a way to not prevent, but try to prevent it. So they brought in the law services for protection, you know, protect and serve. But if it was ever good for the people, it might have helped. But when people who take on a job voluntarily to protect and serve, and they go out and kill somebody, I don't understand why they aren't treated the same as anybody else. It's murder. It's death. And this country, or in these times, the police, they get away with it because there's so many loopholes in the system. But they become untouchable to the common person. When I say the common person, I say to a person of sound mind. No, I'm not even going to say of sound mind. But to the common person, the person that's walking the street. You know, they put a fear in us to where we don't retaliate. But you put a cop in a prison system, and the prisoners get their hands on them, but that might be the end of that cop. But in their rules, and in mankind's rule book, it says an eye for an eye. You do unto me as I do unto you. You know what I'm saying? Do to me what, yeah, whatever. So I'm just sitting there, I'm like, man, can't call it a racial thing, because people of my color sold other people of my color into slavery. And it don't matter what color I am, because it's been done to everybody from every color. You know, it upsets me that no matter how much protesting that we do, nothing is changing. Nothing is stopping one person from killing another. It upsets me because anybody can say all the right things and have a lot of ears perked up, paying attention, but it seems that that's as far as it goes, because there's no change. And that's what upsets me. That's really what upsets me. Here it is, all these years have gone by, and there's been so many people that have been murdered by somebody else. And the only thing that the law has done was try to catch somebody, catch the person who did it, and depending on their color, they put them in jail. Depending on their color, the justice of eye for an eye was made, was done. What if we could find out what a society would be like if it was truly an eye for an eye, legally? If you lie to me, that means I can lie to you. If you step on my foot, that means I can step on your foot. If you feed me, that means I can feed you. If you kiss me here, I kiss you there. Do 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 do. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them things where I'm like, equality. When will it be ever equal like that? And why is it that people that have money and power to make decisions in this country, in this world, why do they want that privilege so much? Are they scared of what would happen if they had to live and be a minority? I don't understand. Where does the pride come from? You know what I'm saying? Once a person was a minority, once a person was financially poor, and they rose to a certain level in their life to where they didn't have financial issues. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, in which area did a person lose the ability? I don't know, man. I don't think that'd be the right way to think about it either. But it just bothers me that a person can say all the right things, and a lot of people can hear it, but that's as far as it goes. And we have a whole history of that. Got a bunch of great speakers, and they've said what they had to say. A lot of people agreed with them, but nothing happened. Today I was listening to the news, and a young lady got up and spoke on behalf of, I think her name is Breonna Taylor. And her family and her and her supporters, the people who want to see justice. But it's like, man, I don't even know if that's correct. I don't even know if it's Breonna Taylor. How about me messing up that name? If I messed up that name, look in the description box, and I'll have the correct name that I was thinking about. But if the name is correct, then you don't have to look in the description box for the name. Anyway, I'm going to play the recording of this young lady's dialogue. And I'm going to also ask you to pay attention to how it was ended. Because that pisses me off that people could be saying all the right things, but you got other people who are pushing buttons. You're on another person's dime, basically. And it's like the way that she was cut off, I was like, man, that angers me more. Because she had something to say. She was saying something. But she was cut off because producers, TV show, had other things that they wanted to get to. They had another topic that they wanted to bust into. They had ratings to protect. That's why I don't like watching the news. It's programs for ratings. They might say something that might help me be in the know-how. You know what I'm saying? Let me know a little something's going on. But it's not for me. It's just not for me. It's for these people who own the company that need the ratings to put money in their checks so they can go do more things with that money. So anyway, I talked enough. I'm going to put the recording of this young lady. I forgot her name too. I think it was Tamika or something like that. And let you listen to what she was saying. And if you would, remember this. I don't know everything. I know some things. I'm not the dumbest person. I'm not the smartest person. There's a whole lot of things that I have researched. And there's a whole lot of things that I still need to research. All I'm asking you to do is question everything that I say and research it. Best thing that you can do with it is have a conversation with somebody. Share that information with somebody. You never know when somebody is thinking the same thing, but they just don't have anybody to talk to. Alright? Leave me a comment if you like, and we can converse about it. You know what I mean? Listen to this young lady's dialogue. Listen to what she says. You know what I mean? If you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. And then listen to the way she was cut off. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, if you don't know what I mean, it's all about having an opinion. It's all about agreeing with the next person. It's all about disagreeing with the next person. But it's all about me having something to share. Having a little information to share. Alright? So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. I'm doing my part. Alright? So anyway, I'm not going to come back on. I'm going to finish the video at the end of her recording. Alright, so as far as my part of this video, I'm going to say, take care, have a good night, have a good morning, have a good afternoon. Stay tuned, and I'll put in this recording of what she had to say. Alright? Take care.
Fraternal Order of Police. To the men and women in blue, I pledge to be your...
And be in solidarity together, demanding justice for Breonna Taylor. And for, I think now, over 4 months, you all have been here, living here this whole time. And that's why I call her the queen of the movement for justice for Breonna Taylor. My sister, my warrior, my freedom fighter, Tamika Mallory.
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
And if there ain't gonna be no justice,
There ain't gonna be no peace!
I want to read something to you all that I learned of just the day after Daniel Cameron's decision. It says, "It is a great honor to receive the endorsement of the bipartisan Kentucky Fraternal Order of Police. To the men and women in blue, I pledge to be your advocate and your voice every day. When I first got into this race, I did so to bring focus to the public safety challenge of our lifetime, the drug crisis. And there is so much work to be done to fight this epidemic. I am humbled to have this endorsement, and as a chief law enforcement officer in Kentucky, I will work every day to make our communities safer and our families and citizens more secure. Half of that statement is from Daniel Cameron when he received the endorsement of the FOP, one of the most racist organizations that exist in America. I got time today.
Okay.
And half of that statement was a lie. Daniel Cameron is not here to protect citizens and to make the state of Kentucky safer. But he was honest about one part, and that is that he is an advocate for police, and that he was going to be their voice and to do whatever is necessary to protect them. And so we learned that he's a man of his word as it relates to his relationship to police. He protected the police. And it did not matter to him one bit that those same officers could have ran in his black mama's house and shot her to death. He's more committed to the white supremacy that he is upholding. He mentioned at the press conference, which I thought was quite interesting, that he's a black man. And as I laid and cried and hurt for Tamika Palmer and for Breonna Taylor and for Kenny Walker and for Janiyah, who we need to love up on. As I laid there and I thought about him saying he's a black man, I thought about the ships that went into Fort Monroe and Jamestown with our people on them over 400 years ago. And how there were also black men on those ships that were responsible for bringing our people over here. Daniel Cameron is no different than the sellout Negroes that sold our people into slavery and helped white men to capture our people, to abuse them and to traffic them while our women were raped, while our men were raped by savages. That is who you are, Daniel Cameron. You are a coward. You are a sellout, and you were used by the system to harm your own mama, your own black mama. We have no respect for you. No respect for your black skin. Because all of our skin folk ain't our kin folk, and you do not belong to black people at all. We learned that on the same exact day that this announcement came out, it was the day that in September of, I forget the year, 1955, which was 65 years ago.
And I'm Steve Kornacki here in New York. We have been listening to and watching those proceedings there in Louisville, Kentucky. Breonna Taylor's family, attorneys, friends, their supporters. For the first time, in fact, we heard from her family since the grand jury's decision not to file charges directly related to Breonna Taylor's killing. Taylor's aunt wore Taylor's EMT jacket and read a message from the family. Attorney Benjamin Crump led the crowd in a chant of "Say Her Name."